Seems to
Let
be.
us begin our Anglo-Saxon fantasy adventure.
Yeah, why not? Okay, here we go. It begins. And let's see. There it is in 3, 2, 1. Hey, y'all. Welcome to There Will Be Dungeons, TWBD, for the weekend of Saturday, September 10th, 2022. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz, John Jagger, Kristen Ashton, and, of course, Kyle Ferguson. And we are here to play Dungeons and Dragons, and we might even do it with a nice hot tea by our side. From phoenixpearltea.com/TWBD. Do you want some tea based on our campaign? Good news. They have it over there at phoenixpearltea.com/TWBD. And now, without further ado, I pass the microphone over to Kristen, who will catch us up on what happened last time on There Will Be Dungeons.
Last time on There Will Be Dungeons, they made to map the menace and estimate the enormity while plotting their plan. As they looked at the landscape above a lake of lava, a shattered ship shook by. Inside was the principal, but not as they had known him. He was weaker, but still set on eradicating evil on Earth, namely this last monster, told by him a Tarrasque. As they threatened to finally take the principal apart, Nash noted his family. The principal was paused. Grandchildren? Feelings never felt flowed through the metal man, and the quest to chrome the cosmos seemed to come to a close. Before battle, however, the team parted in preparation. Hope and Stanley headed back for Walmart and weapons, and Varel plotted a course for the creature to maim it with mountains. He then beseeched Bok, the raucous ruler of the goblins, to join with the last big blowies. Now rejoin our heroes and their forces as the battle rages for the fate of the wide and weird world of the Wastes.
All right, we're ready for this, Bo. Take it away. You're muted.
Great. Thanks. We fade from black to endless open desert. The wind blowing, the silence deafening. Except for the wind, it's making a bit of noise, so it's not that silent. We approach a range of mountains, and we see upon them a lone figure cresting across the top at the apex of these mountains, looking down on either side. Is a large lizard folk, Varel, whom we know, cresting along either side, examining the terrain, having been dropped off by the Fate Six to lay a trap for the Tarrasque our heroes are hunting. Varel, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So you are currently, when we last left off, we were making plans to hunt the Tarrasque. Your particular endeavor was to scout ahead in the Stormlands and to, not quite in the Stormlands, in the space, I believe, in the name escapes me, Leaden Fingers, I believe is what it's called. Let me just get to my map here. Yes, you were setting a trap. Oh wow, there's a real art project going on in here. Thank you to whoever added all that lava. I don't know who it was, but that's very helpful. Did that happen during the show, or when did that happen? Who did that? That's incredibly helpful.
I drew it near the end of the show.
Okay, well, thank you. It's incredibly helpful. I didn't have to make a new map, and great. Yes, so Varel, avoiding the populace of the Corvudican in order not to get sidetracked, there is a path between where the Stormlands are marked in the mountain range and where you are. So if you look to the north, you'll see that the mountains become clouded in thunderous clouds of lightning and torrential rain, it seems, in the center of this mountain range. You are looking for an ideal spot to place your trap. The Fate 6 is about to be on the way, and you still have your earpiece in, so you recently received this information that the explosives The explosives will be on their way. You actually went to go pick them up. I remember last episode you talked to them and loaded up the Fate 6, but you are dropped off by yourself here. So once you've selected a location and done your scouting, you can begin your planning. I guess what I would ask you here is, what kind of plan you would make for this trap.
Well, we want to do a slowing down kind of trap. So I was hoping to create a large amount of rocks, boulders, rubbles that would cascade down into the canyon, allowing the Fate 6 to kite the Trask through the mountain range with the final, if they make it far enough, goal of embedding the Trask into the Stormlands, where they will be struck by lightning and such.
Okay, so you would like to put it closer to the Stormlands.
Yeah, we
Like,
talked
you want
about...
them... Yeah, sorry,
We
go
talked
ahead.
about setting up maybe 3 locations, but I totally understand that with the dynamite supplied and I have a button, let's do one good location. And let's put it a bit earlier on, probably this first one I've marked, around the T in Kavortican.
Really?
The Corvutican. It's like the
Corvutican.
Vatican, but has core instead of vat at the start.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, product placement. Nice.
Yeah, nicely done.
Oh, that was not intentional. I'm sorry. That's real. No, that was not intentional whatsoever. Actually,
Well, it's
but
a K
great,
like
it
Mortal
worked out.
Kombat, so it's fine. We're
No, I was really just going. Remember, map was made years ago. I was really just going for the what sounds fantasy-ish. Corvutican sounds great.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So
All right. So in the T in Corvutican. Okay, so it's definitely in the mountain range and not in
Yes.
the Stormlands. Okay, perfect. That's helpful.
So I will have what I would do is I'd set up the dynamite, and I got a little clicker, right? A little bomb setter offer, or is it a
yeah,
TNT
There
road
is
runner
a
thing?
there's a detonator for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's more electronic than, or not electronic, but it's more like a military looking, like old military deprecated looking thing, and not with a chipboard or and that kind of thing.
Cool. So I would like to set that up, get to a range away from it, and hopefully some sort of crest or Pride Rock-like jumping area where I could either jump atop the Tarrasque or jump onto the Fate 6 as it goes by.
Okay, so you'll see in roll 20, I've isolated a piece of map and where the explosives might go and where you might place your troops. What I will do is I will also... I have other map pieces, so we can adjust. So you mentioned a canyon, right? So you'd like to lead them into a canyon.
Yeah.
Very good. So I'll find something more canyon-like. Maybe for the map here. That would be great.
Are my lizard folk equipped with special suits and grappling hooks?
Yeah, your lizard folk were equipped with everything they needed from remember they pilfered the Caravelon.
Yeah.
In preparation for the Great War. So they, in that laboratory where you fought the fallen angel, there were those shoulder hooks that a lot of them wore. So they have like a lot of that kind of equipment on them.
Awesome. So I would like to divide them along the canyon. Ideally, the rocks tumble down, maybe just crush some toes, but possibly get a foot stuck for a little bit, and we can launch a la, what's the story with Jack Black? And he got all tied down by...
Gulliver's Travels, that one?
Yeah, all Gulliver's Travels. Like, we can get the lizards involved, and then the dynamite's being thrown, and we create kind of a chaos canyon.
I like the name.
Chaos Canyon.
It's a good name.
I'm here to kill chaos in Chaos Canyon. All right, so let's see here. Let's get ourselves a canyon.
I'm here to kill chaos.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, buddy. All right.
Had to do
Yeah,
it.
he is.
I found the perfect map tile, and now I can't find it. It's kind of annoying. Oh, here we go. That looks workable. All right, to map layer. All right, so let's maybe try something like this. As you can see, the map layer, the map piece. Everyone can see that, right?
Yep.
All right, as you can see, there's a depression in the center, right? So the beast can move through perhaps the middle. Oh, something happened. Okay. There we go. How's that?
Looks good.
All right. Yeah. So for the explosives themselves, Pharrell, you want them up top so it buries the beings inside, right?
The feet of the Tarask.
You want them to step on them, basically?
Oh, no, like the rocks would cascade down and either bury the feet or create a wiggly Home Alone marble situation.
Okay, perfect.
I love it.
Okay, I got it. So very, very well. So as you find your ideal spot, the Fate 6 comes into view once again as you give a quick mention over the headset that you're ready for them. And the goblins and lizard folk, the ship lands nearby, and they begin removing the barrels and putting in the work as per your direction in the canyon. All right. So do you like where I'm moving these objects here?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay,
You
perfect.
like the way I do this?
All right. So yeah. So those barrel things are. Thank you, Scott. So yeah, so I'll be doing that. So while I'm moving that, is there anything else that you'd like to do for the planning, including you may need to regroup because I know Stanley has a feast he's planning, so that's going to be an important step. So you may need to. Will you wait here, or what would you like to do?
The goal was to do the feast the night before we decide to do everything.
Okay.
So, whenever we're at that point, that's when Stanley's gonna make the feast.
Okay. So the reason I ask Pharrell is he does have the main ship, so he's gonna have to give it some direction as to what to do, where to go, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would make the feast.
Okay, perfect. And do you want to leave the goblins and lizards here to stay in preparation, or do you want to bring them with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd want them to, embed themselves in the surrounding land, create holes to hide in, prepare.
Oh, should we do some Zerg burrowing?
Yeah, get some goblins all buried in.
Get some goblins. Perfect. All right, so you begin
sound.
Yeah, you begin giving directions for the goblins to make little caves and holes along the side of the thing. They'll be protected from the explosion because the explosion will be blowing the rock up, so they're at the base.
Okay. As long as they're not, downhill and just gonna...
Yeah, there's no verticalities on these maps, and we get really ambitious with our battle terrain, so it's like it doesn't translate well. But no, I mean the goblins are pretty brave around explosives to begin with, anyways. There's an element of warship that they have, I think, due to Bok's influence and love of the old blowy. So we'll put some up there. Maybe there'll be some goblins who can rain from the top along with the tactical team as well. And maybe I'll put some on either side for you. So the barrels explode. Just don't take the positioning too literally. We only have limited space on the battle map. But basically the idea being in this valley here, either side of the canyon will explode. All the rocks will bury its feet, maybe more, who knows. Goblins from below will go to attack, and then from above they'll all drop down and attack as well. That's the trap you're laying. All right, and they can stay, or will they come back with you for the feast?
They can stay. I believe the feast doesn't supply as many people as we have.
Yeah.
Right. I assume the instruction will be you'll return and provide more direction as to what to do, because I think that's the overall plan.
Awesome.
Right. So after a hard day's labor, getting explosive where they need to be, getting everyone instructions and where they need to be, you clamber on board the Fate 6. Did you guys set a meetup point at all? Now there is the principal's rocket ship and where it crashed. That's where we started everything from. So maybe that you can decide now. I'm not going to be like, you didn't discuss it. Now you don't know how to meet up again. So did you? What would be a good meetup point for everyone?
I would assume principal's camp, since he was getting all...
Yeah, that's
Great.
where we all
Cooking.
were. So.
Perfect. Okay, so you hop aboard the Fate 6 and begin your return. Stanley and Hope, I believe you were heading back to the solar mine. No, I know Hope wanted to practice flying on the chrome surfboards.
Yeah, we were
And-
both taking turns practicing because we were both going to be flying
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I think Hope in particular was going to team up with someone, so she wanted the experience with having a second person on the board too, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I think that was
Yeah.
me. I think I was the second person on the board.
Mhm.
Okay, and she was going to take you to back to the solar mines where the elves were, so that you could get a crossbow
Yep.
and some bowls,
Yep.
some Tupperware.
Yeah.
I need a crossbow and Tupperware for this mission.
Hope will join in with the crossbow, and it's a +2.
Yeah, if you want to add a magical crossbow from the Elven Armory.
Oh, I thought that was at Walmart. I was like, damn, they got +2 crossbows at
No.
Walmart.
Walmart was floated as an option because it's there and they have crossbows, but they wouldn't be +2. They'd be maybe -1.
Yeah, we got good crossbows.
Okay, great.
And
And
great bowls. Just the best bowls you've ever seen.
yeah, was there anything else you wanted to do or visit while there, or just go, be business, get what you needed, and return?
I think that's probably it.
Okay. So without much fanfare, no one comes to interrupt you. You find the nearest elf. Once you land, they speak to you with great deference, of course. You make your demands, and they send out people to collect what you need. And after 20, 30 minutes or so, they get the items for you. Having already interacted with Admiral Chrysorius and High Elf Amantha Lodar, they're all still quite busy securing the area. Remember that you have given instruction for people to be on standby to drop the trianglosphere into the molten core of the Earth, deep below the solar mines. So that also remains one of your people's missions you've given them. Hope, was there anything you wanted to do here, or was it really just about practicing with the board?
Mainly just practicing and then getting a ranged weapon, since we'll be poking them for the
Okay.
start at least.
Perfect. So, you've learned that these things move quite fast during the flight. On a turn, if you're flying on the board, they can move up to 90 feet per round. So it has a pretty high speed. The other thing that you're able to learn too, that you're able to keep enough momentum. You can, you haven't been able to try it yet, but with enough momentum, there's a magicality to its hovering. It might be possible if you were to quickly barrel roll to not fall off the board with enough speed, or do a loop-de-loop. You sort of get this sense that with enough speed, as long as you could survive these centrifugal force, or motion rather, it might be possible to produce some very flashy maneuvers if the situation came up. But you haven't, if you want to try them, you can, but you probably need to let Stanley know.
She'll wait till they get back to the principal's camp.
Great. Okay. And last, when we left off, Nash, Magard of the Solar Mines, is having a difficult time. He's lost something very important to him, his connection with his shape-shifting self. And so he chose to remain in the camp to have his alleged father help train him in discipline of mind to get connected.
Yeah.
And so Nash, the principal is before you, humming in meditation, encouraging you to empty your mind.
I would be doing my best to do that.
You're trying your best. All right, so let's get a trying your best roll.
Okay.
This is a, let's see here. Let's get a religion skill check, please.
All right. Here comes religion.
This is spirituality.
That'd be a 15.
Okay. So, for, I don't want to be too pejorative, but in what seems like a long time, you actually sit and try to, great intent, actually get into some sort of synchronicity or peace with your inner self. Your body has been a battleground of scars and molding and other body parts. And yet, with great frustration, as you try to commune with it, you feel that you're still up against a wall. and you can't make whatever this transformation your alleged father, the principal, has for you.
Okay. Yeah, it would be hard. I'm not surprised that I would struggle. My guess is Nash would be bad at meditation in the best of times. If I had to guess.
Stop the meditation. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's very windy.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Nash, you are holding yourself back. I can feel the agitation in your arms and in your legs. You have to learn one thing. You must love yourself, Nash.
Okay. What if I liked myself a lot better before you took my dragon power away?
I think you like your jokes better than you like yourself. I want you to try something. Take off your robes.
Weird, but okay. And I'll get up, take off my robes.
Now look at your shoulder. Do you see the mouth and eyes peeking out from between your shoulders?
Do I?
You do.
Okay.
Principal's DMing this campaign now. Deal with it.
Yep. Easier than flipping back.
Yeah,
and
you see it. You see it.
forth. Okay. Is it?
But
Did I know this
between
before?
your shoulder blade? Remember, you have a mouth and some eye, like an eye, slowly starting to peek out. That's actually kind of new.
Yeah.
And your shoulder's like, hey.
Oh yeah,
Well,
you've been growing. I didn't notice.
I have this like sensation. I think what is it? Am I looking? Am I seeing? As one eye in your shoulder blade is like, it's got like goopy yellow stuff sort of sewing it shut a little bit, but it's trying to open up and a little light is coming in.
Okay.
And your baby hand is now freely sort of moving around.
Go ahead.
Who am I looking at?
This is Nash Maggard of the Solar Mines. You've been growing back there for a bit.
Is this what looking is?
Well, tell me how many fingers I'm holding up, and I'll hold up 2 fingers, kind of peace sign, like.
With which hand?
Whichever. So I'd be looking at the eye. Doesn't matter.
Okay. You're holding 2.
Okay, see, that's good. That's sight. You can see.
And I guess that's a finger.
Yeah, that's a human finger. You have a.
How do I even know what 2 is?
Well, I don't know. Probably the same way you can speak at all. You're just intuiting things, I guess. I don't know how you're doing it.
Yeah, definitely tooting.
Yeah.
So what's this metal guy trying to do to us?
He's trying to get me to clear my head. I suppose it means you need to as well. I don't know how much one would affect the other, but he wants
Do you
us
think
to,
maybe it's my fault that you can't transform?
No, because the little hand's been here for a long time, and you were here right before I lost the power, so I don't think you're the reason.
Okay, good. I was worried you're going to get rid of me.
No. That would hurt.
Yeah, I think it would hurt me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what's going on?
We're supposed to be we're supposed to be meditating, but I don't know. Actually talking with you is clearing my head a little bit. Maybe this is good. That we're having. Yeah.
That being you were speaking to, that is you.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's part of me, but he's separate. He's got a separate consciousness, as you can see. He's replying to me and stuff.
It may seem that way, but that is not so.
So
That is you.
am I just talking to myself, or like? Do you hear me say both things, or what does it look like?
It's more complicated than simply talking to yourself. It is you.
Okay.
As I said, you must learn to be at peace with yourself.
Well, if this is the self you're talking about, I like him. He's cool. We get along just fine.
Then why don't you tell him that you love him?
Oh, jeez. It feels forward.
Bare your soul to yourself.
Okay. I can try. I'll turn around to where I can see the growth in the eye and everything. And just say, yeah, so I guess, you and I need to get more acquainted and trust each other more, and I don't know, like each other more. I'm supposed to tell you that I love you. I'll say.
No one's ever told me that they loved me before.
No one has still.
No one. I mean,
This is the hardest thing you've ever asked Scott to do.
Is that what you're saying to me right now?
yeah. I mean, it feels weird to say it, but I think even though I don't fully trust this principal guy over here, but I think he's probably right. I need to be more in tune with my whole being, and you're part of it. So yeah. I don't, it's not like a sexy way though. I don't love you that way. Just so you know, there's no I don't want to do stuff like that. But you seem fine. It seemed like a lovable, nice.
Ash, quit circumlocuting and just say it to yourself.
All right.
Open your soul to you.
Okay, I'll go. Here's my soul. It's open, and I love you. Eyeball hand me.
And as you say this and mean it earnestly, a strange expression of sadness and love passes over the mouth and eyeball in your shoulder. And since the eyeball is looking upward, when it finally tears up, the tears don't drip anywhere, but just pool up with crusty yellow eye stuff in it, in a pool in your shoulder as it begins welling up. And then, then it's like, I love you too, Nash.
While he's saying that, I would lean so that gravity helped some of the water and goo come out of his eye.
A true act of love.
Yeah. I don't want to drown the poor little guy, so I'll just do like that. Let it drip a little. Tear off my shoulder.
All right. And do you begin crying as well, or does it not affect you?
I would.
Do you let the love into your soul, or do you put on your armor of sarcasm and wit?
I think he would feel the emotion of it, but he would still have a hard time expressing it. So I don't think Nash would cry. I think he would. He'd be sort of humble and sort of head down and not really. He wouldn't crack wise, but he wouldn't cry either.
All right. And the principal says to you,
This is good progress, my son, but you are not quite ready yet. Until you can let go of your embarrassment and your sense of cringing at your own weaknesses, you will struggle with this problem. But I am here, and I know that you have the power to overcome this challenge even without the shape-shifting. We have many years together to look forward to, my son. This is a new era for me and for you. My son Nash, I I do not deserve it. But I do love you. I think I meant to say I don't deserve it, not you. I know.
I took your meaning.
This new body is difficult.
Well, you'll understand that while I don't have any reason to think you're being dishonest or deceitful about this, I need a little time. You know, like previous to recent events, you were, final boss numero uno. I didn't know about that.
Once we defeat this last challenge and bring our planet back to health, then we will have time for everything. The wars will be over, and we can move forward together.
Okay. That sounds like a deal.
All right, and during this whole time, your shoulder's been crying. It's just like it's balling up, and you're trying to get the water out. It's just generating water in your shoulder. And as that happens, Hope and Stanley pop up into the background and begin, surfing in to the area. And then Varel aboard the Fate 6 is also trucking and finding his way over. And within a minute or two, they are within the vicinity and landing. And the principal has this last thing to say.
Come, we will have to resume our meditation another time. You've made good progress, my son. Let me put my hand upon your shoulder in comfort and say, I'm proud of you.
Well, thanks, Dad. I'll say, still a little trepidation in my voice about buying it or accepting it.
And with that, the Fate 6 lands on the ground. It's devoid of goblins and lizard folk. It's just the ghost pirate crew and Varel, who just parks. And with great style, I don't know, Hope, if you want to describe it, you make your entrance along with the chrome surfboard.
Oh, yeah, she'd totally be going as fast as she could and then do like the slide stop to see if she could cover everyone in dust but stop before actually hitting somebody.
Oh, do you bring up a wave of sand? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. All right, that happens.
Awesome.
Well,
like to
hang
not
on.
blink
Let's get a
with
piloting check. This is a difficult move. You're trying to look cool. I think this is a skill check. Let's get a
I
piloting
wholly agree.
check for you. Is there anyone in particular you're targeting, or is the whole crew?
It's a natural 20, so everybody.
So it lands, it's everybody, and it lands within a millimeter of everybody. Let's see who breaks and puts their hands up. Let's get a charisma saving throw, of the very rare charisma saving throw. Who can stand up to this and not flinch and put their hands up as if they're about to get hit with dust?
Am I on the board, or am I one of the targets?
Yeah, you're on the board. So Mr. Charisma doesn't get to make the save. He's like, I got all this charisma and I don't get to use it.
Might I be able to use Constitution instead and just take the sand to my eyeballs and not blink?
That'll be a follow-up roll. Let's see if you flinch first. This is a flinch test. Yes.
I got a 27.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a plus 10. So I have
He's at peace with himself. He's zen.
Yeah.
Yeah, felt pretty good after a
I've never heard Scott say a number. We've been playing for 4 years. I've never
You're not
heard him
wrong.
say 27, guys.
I think that's the highest number of anything I've ever had.
Yeah, it's a momentous day for Scott.
Oh, I screwed up. Shit. I hit the wrong thing. I hit the... No, wait. My saving throw modifier.
No, you have a plus 10 to your charisma
No, I do.
modifier.
Never mind. I got it right. It's 27. I got it right.
Okay.
19 for me.
Oh, not bad. Okay.
I also have one for Constitution, but that's not what I used. Anyway.
Yeah, so the principal saves as well.
It is 27.
We got a bunch of badass heroes here. Nobody flinches.
Nice.
Nobody does anything. It lands within a millimeter of them. You look cool. Everyone else gets to look cool. Even Scott managed to look cool here. Like, it's, Again, I'm just impressed with the 27. I've never seen you roll that high.
I never have.
I'm happy for you. These are laughs of joy for you. Great. So yeah, everyone looks cool. You do the thing, and like the sand, whoosh, makes a big wave, lands a millimeter in front of them. Perfect geometry, and nobody flinches. They all just have their hands, either on their waist or looking in their cool badass way, and the party is now reunited, having taken care of their plans for last week.
Awesome.
Excellent. We all have returned, and now we can begin the hunt.
Principal walks over to the fire pit that he's made, and begins lighting a flame in preparation of food.
All right. Is it evening? Is this the time to make the meal, or what?
Yeah,
what
I
do we
mean,
do?
you guys are back
Okay.
together. You're hunting the idea is you're going to hunt the Tarask. You have time to prep, so whatever prep you want to begin, then let's do that, and then you can get started. Get started after that.
All right. Well, the idea is that there is a long rest after the meal is eaten.
Okay.
So
Perfect. So so you'll need the evening. What time do you want to start? Like you're now back together. The conversation last week, said to go back and listen, was just around battle plans and around what everyone needed to go collect to prepare. There's no actual discussion about how to start or provoke it into waking up, or will it wake up. I did end off last week with it beginning to emerge from the ground, but your characters don't know that. Yeah.
So we should
This music's hilarious.
I know. I don't know why I chose
I
it.
don't know. I don't know what this is now.
It's really setting a tense mood.
I think I'm thinking about that new Assassin's Creed and got me in the mood.
So, you've all returned. You have everything you need for the hunt, yes?
Yeah, we do. I think the big thing for us is we're going to. I got the bowls I needed. I'm gonna make a meal this evening. We can start in the morning, but do you have any idea how to draw it out?
Yes, I will, unless you have a better option than what I have available to me, I plan on agitating the flows of lava around his area. That should provoke him from his nest. What time of day would it be best to pursue him? I can't imagine light would be an advantage or disadvantage for this beast, but it may impact us. Morning, afternoon, evening.
Well, I think our plan is to put together a little magical concoction that I have to help fortify us for the battle to come. Rest so everybody is at the top of their game, and we can start first thing in the morning.
Can your concoction affect metals?
I mean, are you asking to try some?
I do not consume normal food as you do. I consume metal.
Well, sounds like you're shit out of luck. But let me think
You
about
are
it. I'll
unable
see.
to bless my food.
You know, this is really food I create. Maybe I can put something together you can stomach. We'll see.
Very well.
And that really is me seeing. Let me see if it gives any indication here. Doesn't really say. It just says magnificent food and drink. So if he eats metal, that's his food. Maybe he can eat this food.
So
It's magnificent, Bo.
So on this front, I think maybe there's like magical limitations because metal. Then the spell would just be conjure like iron or gold. Like it's like if it's food. I guess it's not specific, but he's just eating nuts and bolts. He's in a very special camp of his own. I don't think it's going to work. I think your inclination is right.
He can have some if he wants, but yeah.
Although technically some food has iron in it, right? Yeah. So, but then we're getting into that whole technically rabbit hole. And
I don't know. I'll give him a bowl. It's not going to be withheld from him.
Oh, can the bowl be made of like aluminum or something?
Honestly, Bo, it's a little sketchy on the details on how this works. I don't mean to shock you here, but it says it creates
feast, right?
food and drink, but it doesn't say anything about how it manifests, what kind it is.
Well, it's magical food, so I mean, it's not like going to have permanence, right? Unless you eat it and gain the digestive effects. It takes 1 hour to consume, disappears. Yeah, it's also funny because if you want to get technical, if you metabolize the food and it disappears, is it still in your system? Does it still metabolize as cells in your body? But that's thinking too hard about these things. I'm going to say no, though. He like strictly eats like minerals and ores, and that's distinctly not food, I think.
All right.
Yeah. So I think not.
Well, that's just another limitation of his shitty chrome body, so he can live with that.
Yeah, he'll be fine with it. With some disappointment, he returns to starting to stoke the fire so you can prepare your feast.
Varel, would you be willing to show us the pathway you've set up?
I point at the mountains.
Could you fly us over it so we know where we're going tomorrow?
Oh, yes. Shall we onboard now, or shall we enjoy this fine meal?
It's gonna take me a little bit to get it prepared if you all want to go take a look. I can certainly follow everybody's lead in the morning.
Very well.
Stanley, do you need any help making it? Do you need any, kitchen help?
No, I think you should probably see as much of the plan as possible, Nash, so you are hopefully going to retain some of it.
All right.
All right. With the aid of heist music, I will fly everybody over the canyon.
Perfect.
You have some somewhere.
I didn't mean to make work for you, but
oh, I got some. Here's some heist music. See, it's got like sneaking around stuff. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah, that works.
The goblins are embedded here along the canyon's base, or perhaps the top. It's difficult to tell because they're so stealthy. The lizard folk are prepared with their grappling hooks from Kervalon and will attempt to hold the beast down. Dynamite explodes here, burying the beast's foot, or at the very least creating a slippery situation where they might fall. I will then jump atop the beast and attempt to enter its hide through the back. If not, I will request pickup, or perhaps I will join this Fate 6 with an excellent jump. Then we will speed towards the shadow. Excuse me, I had the wrong property in mind. Stormlands. We will speed towards the Stormlands, or we might lose it in the fog and lightning.
Cool. Hope listens and studies the terrain, trying to make a mental map of it.
Having Varel say create a slippery situation is the highlight of the session for me.
Yep.
Create a slippery situation.
I like it.
Yeah, well done. All right. And anyone have any questions for Varel?
Your job is to lead them here, to this canyon, where they might fell my trap.
Seems easy enough to me.
Yeah, I think we can do it.
Excellent. Let's go partake in Stanley's subpar but magical cooking.
Wow. It's like one of those reality show things where it's off camera and they're like, oh, yeah, it's subpar cooking. All right. So, everyone having the lay of the land here, take a quick flight back down to the encampment. And there they find Stanley, who's been silently, I guess, or however it is you're doing it. I don't mean to characterize it for you, preparing the meal.
Yep.
It takes an hour to prepare, right?
Actually, I think it might only take 10 minutes. I thought it took a bit longer, but they probably were gone that long.
You timed it. As soon as you saw them on the horizon, you're like, finally, I can get started.
Yeah, there's an awesome, awkward time just sitting next to the principal. Probably not the
yeah, it's
most
definitely
welcoming
awkward
company
silence.
in the world. Yeah.
The time is spent silently. He's like prepping the fire, and then he sits and just stares off into the distance, almost like a statue for some time. Not with no impetus to say anything to you unless you were to talk to him. There'd be just silence.
Stanley doesn't talk to him either. It's just awkward.
Yeah.
Incredibly awkward.
All right. So then, as a great relief, when the Fate 6 emerges again on the horizon, and you begin prepping the meal and have the repast ready. The principal looks to you as the ship returns. He finally moves, turns to you, Stanley, and he says,
I will be in my rocket ship. I will be in my rocket ship. If something urgent is that I'm needed for, come and get me.
Stanley just gives that, uh-huh. He probably did genuinely find the "I'll be in my rocket ship" a little bit funny.
I didn't think it was going to be funny until he said it. Like, I'll be in
my rocket ship.
I'll be in my rocket ship.
I just feel like sounds like a little kid. He's got a little rocket ship bed, and he's like, "I'm being my rocket ship." Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So he moves off to be by himself, and maybe there's a little bit of why didn't he do that at first? Why did he have to spend an hour awkwardly sitting with you, not saying anything? But oh well, that's how it went. Yeah. And so if the Fate 6 lands, and the party is reunited once again. The sun is beginning to go down. The night starry sky is starting to fill with the lights of the stars. Campfire glows and glitters across a very black desert landscape.
He lays out the food for everybody. Has a seat, starts eating himself.
And does the rest of the party join?
Yeah.
All right. And then it's after the long rest that the effects of your spell take effect?
No, it'll be right away, but because the spell lasts 24 hours, we'll still have it in the morning.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So, and then just as a refresher, I'm going to make a little note of it because I keep forgetting. It's immune to frightened and charmed or something.
So
like that?
you are immediately cured of all diseases and poison. You are now immune to poison and being frightened. All wisdom saving throws are made with advantage, and your hit point maximum increases by 2d10. So everybody will need to roll 2d10 and add that to your maximum HP total.
Yeah. Now, if you've previously added 2d10, make sure that comes off, by the way.
Just keep adding it.
It's like, I've got 800 hit points from all these Heroes Feasts.
So weird.
Lame. I got a 9. Whatever, I'll take it. Well, I did better than Varel by 1.
I only got 5.
Oh,
So
I won't complain.
yeah, you got to work hard to get a 5.
Yeah, 2d10 sounds big, but then you roll it and you're like, oh. The range is 2 to 20, so.
I like it because it balances out the mask, which I'm gonna use in the morning, so it helps a little.
Very good. Is there a wind sound playing? I love it. It's very moody.
Oh yeah, because we're still desert planning. So
Yeah. I take it, given the tone of how everyone's feeling, there's a lot of conversation during this meal. It's like almost a
quiet
calm
last
before
meal.
a great fight.
Yeah.
The exhaustion of years spent battling demons and all number of endless foes. And now one that's just so you don't know what it is, but are being told that it's overwhelmingly daunting. I mean, perhaps Varel is just typically silent. I don't know. I'm characterizing the silence. Maybe it's incorrect, but there's that tone to this evening's meal.
Nash would definitely not have a ton to say because he is feeling very. He's still sort of conflicted, but he's also trying to keep in the moment, like he was trying to be trained earlier, trying to stay on that target. So he would be very.
There's still like a lot of sobbing coming from your shoulder when you put your clothes back on, but there's like a little wet spot on your shoulder sometimes.
Great. I'll reach over there and just kind of pat it once in a while, just like they're there.
Do you want to give him any of the Heroes Feast?
Yeah. I give him a spoon or two. I don't know where it goes, but yeah.
You've never fed him before, and he's there's a little bit of like, oh, what does this taste? Like, he's never eaten before.
Do you know if we share the same digestive system?
I know. I don't know if you don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll assume it's down the same hole I get, so I'll just feed him and give him a little bit of just to sort of, share, because I know he's sort of sentient now. I mean, obviously very. Even though in my head I'd be getting the full benefit of the meal. And maybe will anyway, but
yeah. I mean, maybe at one point a butthole will emerge somewhere and you'll have two of those.
Sweet.
If it is a different digestive system.
I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be in your forehead. That's great. Thanks, Bo, for doing that.
Oh, geez. I hope not.
Okay, so yeah, he eats it with great delight, and it actually calms down his sadness because eating food is a wonderful experience, and he's quite content with that. I love this, and asks for more. And at a certain point, you said there's no more, but do that. Okay. Any other last planning conversations, RP, to do before we move on?
Well, it does occur to me that if this goes well, while we still have to deal with the man in the ship, there's a good chance that this might be the last time that we are all together.
Why would that be?
Well, this is kinda it. If we restore this planet, and magic goes away as they're saying, we're going to have to decide if we want to stay here and be a part of that world, or if we're going to leave and go somewhere else. Nash's family isn't here. Hope, you have a kingdom you may want to rebuild, or you have the freedom to go wherever you want. Varel, you can rebuild Caervalon, or I don't know, I don't remember if this was said around Stanley or not, but, you could take over the solar mines with all your people here for all I know. What is everybody's plan?
I'd want to start over and rebuild my kingdom. I owe what's left of my people that much.
I just want to help raise my kids.
And where do you want to raise them? Currently, they're on Mars. You going to bring them back here?
Well, depending on how things look here, and I think there's still some question about that until we're done. Maybe. But worst case, anywhere's fine. Maybe I'll take them to Planet Nash.
What about you, Varel?
You all will always have a home here. I will make it in the solar mines pit, ideally, and retake an ancient land, though we may explore Caervalon.
What about you, Stanley?
Well, I don't know. I got kind of roped into this gig. Maybe I should actually see something through for once. but I don't know. The elves currently are homeless. They're also an innately magical group of people. I don't know how happy they're going to be on a mundane world.
Perhaps we could all use some mundanity after these adventures.
Well, sounds like no matter what, we're not going to be too far. That first things first, we got yet another big beastie to deal with. So, to another big beastie, and Stanley will lift a magical glass of whatever it is and hold it up.
To the beastie.
The beastie.
The beastie is
Beastie.
I was gonna say. Is he still here?
Yeah, I can kind of hear you in spite of not having ears, which is another thought that enters your mind as you toast to the beastie.
Is Principal still there with us?
He's in his rocket ship.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The silence lingers over everyone as they somberly toast and finish eating their meal. I would ask if you are going to do a long rest tonight in preparation for your battle.
Yep.
What time are we setting the alarms for?
And your thing lasts 24 hours, John, or your food?
Yeah.
So we don't want to be too lazy here and sleep too much. So we should probably get up and
Let's say sun up.
yeah.
You know, enough to get us the full long rest and then get to it.
All right, so everyone finds their place to sleep. Varel in his sand pit that he digs out. Everyone else, on their bedrolls if they have them. If not, just laying out on the sand in some way to get comfortable. The sky in the desert is bright and clear, not a cloud to be seen. Barely a sound in the quiet desert. No animals can be heard. No buzzing. That's that dead silence except for the wind that the desert offers. Everyone's dreams are filled with memories. For some reason on this night, memories of Dust Hill and the dwarves of Mogferain. The invasion of the goblins in Dust Hill that first sent you spiraling on this months and years long adventure. To the endless rows of houses in Sigil. Of the deep depths of the ancient civilization in Caravalon. And this the Center for Human Demon Interdisciplinary Studies below it. The pits of Razikval, the bustling mercantilism of Orphowitz, and the great imposing castle of the Teat. The deep, dark pit of the Black Mine. And the western nature, this alien place of Slavetown. The planets and nebulae of space that you traveled. In the forests of the biodome of Elhandar. All these memories of your journey fill your minds in what is a ultimately very restful sleep, but also one filled with a slight twinge of sadness and anxiety, and apprehension at what the future might hold. These fights and these struggles have so defined your very characters that there is an alarm and anxiety associated with these thoughts of it all being over. If you don't have inspiration, gain inspiration for many years of well-played D&D. And the sun comes soon enough, and rest is wrung from your minds sooner than you'd like. as reality sinks back in and the rising sun turns the night into light blue. The principal is out from his rocket ship, standing at the edge of the camp, staring off into the distance. And a low rumbling can be heard in the ground as it shakes everyone who might be trying to sleep. He looks back to the party as they rouse.
The World Breaker is waking. Our time is nigh. Get on your chrome surfboards. And let's drag us to rest.
And with that, go to the break, get a little glass of water or refresher, and we return. And fast.
Excellent. We'll be back shortly, everybody. Go pee, drink, do the things you do. And we'll be right back. Oops, I don't know what that is. I don't like that either. Look at this one. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. We begin to reassemble.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello.
John, we've entered how cool Venom is phase.
Oh, Venom.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
early.
What?
Yeah, Venom's spooky, but he's like awesome. He's like hide behind the chair, but totally engrossed. And if I turn off, I'm like, is that too
awesome.
spooky? But he's like, no, I can do it.
I can do it.
No, he's great.
That's awesome. Are we talking the Tom Hardy one? The new one?
No, we're not watching that. Just like old Fox Kids.
Oh. Okay.
Spider-Man and all that.
I have a Venom T-shirt that I wear that I didn't really think about how he would respond to it, and I think he's seen it enough. It's just familiar to him. But every now and then he'll just look at it, stare at it, and he'll just put his hand on Venom's face and teeth, like, and then it's like, okay. Although the baby bit my stomach today. I don't know why he did it. He just buried his head up against me like it was real nice and sweet, and then all of a sudden I was like, ow! What is this?
Biting happens. You get bit.
Yep. Part of the deal.
I've been doing one of those 30-day workout challenges, one of those apps that you always scroll by. I was like, why not?
Yeah.
Kicking my butt, but he's just climbing all over me the whole time, just jungle gymming when I'm trying to plank and stuff.
Extra pounds for resistance training.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna kick it up a notch.
But originally I was skipping the Venom episodes because I thought that might be spooky. But at the end of every Fox Kids Spider-Man, he goes, "Ugh," and then disappears in the background, right? And he's always like, "Who's that? Who's that? Who is that?" And then I was like, "Who is that?" And he's like, "He goes like this." It's just like goes with his tongue out. I'm like, "Oh, Venom. All right. Yeah, you like
Cute.
Venom?"
It's super cute. I love that.
Wow. I love that he's excited to see Venom.
Yeah.
What's not to love?
Venom is a badass.
Yep. Love me some Venom. Okay. Here we go then. We got it back in line. Everything's rocking. All right, Bo, it's back to you, sir.
All right, so everyone rouses from their slumber. It is early morning. The sun is coming up over the horizon, and the heat's already beginning to rise. The principal walks over after saying his line and moves to one of the chrome surfboards, throws it down, jumps on it, and flies up and says,
I'm ready to go. Shall we begin?
I think we're ready.
Stanley will activate his mask and gain foresight, and then go over and get on the board.
refresh me on foresight just briefly. That's an advantage on something?
Yeah, it's basically advantage on everything, disadvantage on anything trying to attack him.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. So you cast your spell of foresight. Its duration is 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah. Great. All right. And you are, so who's flying on their own boards?
I'll be on my own board.
Okay. Hope I know will have one for herself. Nash,
Yep.
how are you feeling about boarding?
Feeling fine. I would kick in my Draconic Resilience and have 17 armor class instead of the crappy 14 I have right now.
Great. Okay. So you kick in your Draconic Resilience. So the boards themselves they're Silver Surfer looking type boards. They're made of chrome. They float magically once the ignition has been ignited, which are a series of foot pedals towards the back. Now, whether you ride regular or goofy, if you're left-handed or right-handed, is up to you. Either way, it's going to be one of your feet towards the back. There is an engine on the back of each of the boards, and so once you kick it on, there's like this whoop, 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 like pod racer style sound as everything floats up. Controlling it, it seems to be in tune with how your legs want it to move, and there isn't a lot of risk of actually slipping in spite of it feeling like it maintains its own balance. So it's a platform to stand on. You don't have to guide it as much as you would say like a regular skateboard if you have any experience with that kind of thing. So as everyone gets on their boards and floats up, Varel, I imagine you'll be taking the Fate 6 off to meet them there. So now it's time for farewells and any last parting instructions to Varel, as he will not be a part of this initial opening.
Nash is good.
Nope, I think so.
All right,
We'll give him a nod.
Fate the beast well.
And with that line, Varel turns to the Fate 6, and the Fate 6 ascends into the sky and floats towards the mountain range. It is now just the three of you and the principal. The principal looks to you all, motions to follow, and begins flying off into the distance in a different direction.
All right, I'll follow.
So the party. So what you find is that the breeze is welcoming in the desert heat. As you move quickly and fly high up into the air, you can fly as high as you want, and the principal does ascend quite high to where the fall would be very precarious. But you're able to cover more distance that way and see more out into the air. As you're about halfway up to cloud cover, you move briskly through the air. Desert quickly gives way to cracks in the ground, like large veins of lava emerging and bubbling. And very soon underneath you, it's nothing but steam and red-brown land that's percolating and moving. And then he looks back to you, and he looks back to the group, and he points. And in the direction he points, you can see the top of some kind of carapace percolating in the center of a large lava lake. He comes to a stop just above this carapace, like high up, but towards the top of it. And he turns to the party and he begins saying,
I will rouse it from its slumber early. It should be caught unawares, but my anticipation is that it will start by attacking me. I will lead it towards the mountain range. However, should it just become distracted, then if you are the one it is chasing, then you should do the same. Although we have a plan to trap it in the mountain range, we should do what we can to damage it on the way, potentially. Find any weaknesses, learn what you can about it. This beast will have heavy resistance to our attacks. Be prepared for anything. Any questions?
None.
I think so.
Then let us begin.
all right, I'm back. So the principal moves along his board and descends. And as he descends, he reaches both hands in front of himself, and large glowing light begins illuminating. His body begins vibrating, and he floats a little bit off the board as beams of light, white and iron, hot and steaming, descend from his hands and begin. He targets the lava lake around him, and it begins percolating and bubbling, and a large bubble of lava begins heating up. While this heating up's occurring, we will change maps in Roll 20 to the map that we're going to be on for this segment. Place your tokens where they need to be placed. No Bok Bok, no Varel. I guess the creature is visible in the center of the board here. So the principal is here. As the lava begins heating up, the carapace begins shaking and the earth begins shuddering. You can it's enough that even in lava, you can see ripples forming, splashes of lava splash up, and the carapace begins rising. And as it rises, lava sort of streaks off it like he's coming out of the shower, and a large face emerges. And this face has large reptilian eyes that go from the front to back that are long, and there's cracks and steaming of purple through the red as this thing is of the weir and looks demonic. Its carapace animates, it moves, parts of his shell rotate, and on those pieces of shell are other pieces of shell that also rotate, like he's designed to traverse through earth itself. Everything's a grinder upon grinder upon grinder on his carapace, and it moves up, and a large mouth emerges from the lava pit. The mouth is long and spherical, and it has spheres of teeth, and one sphere of teeth rotates this way, and the other sphere of teeth farther back rotate counterclockwise. They move counter in an endless pit of teeth, and you hear as the creature emerges, and the hands emerge, and it rises up the size of a mountain, shooting past everyone, and you're no longer looking down but looking up as it emerges from the lava, dripping everywhere with lava and purple energy, everything on its body animating and rotating circles, its teeth spitting pieces of rock everywhere in a torrent above him, and it screams out, and it begins looking around. It moves faster than something that size you would think, as just quickly merges from the ground, and it looks for its assailant, and locks on to the laser that the laser light that the principal is shooting into the earth. Now the principal, seeing that it's paying attention to him, lets go and readies his body to take on the creature. Roll for initiative.
Yeah, man.
Do you want me to be a part of this one for later?
We can get you to roll in later. So yeah, I don't need yours.
9.
Okay, Nash is a 9.
24.
24 for Hope.
20.
Josh, dang
20
it.
for Stanley. Back to the
normal Nash
back to
rolls
the
here.
nines.
Oh, jeez.
All right, let me get one for our friend here. Okay. Okay. Hope.
One thing, you all may want to double check your HP total. The long rest reset my override. So just
Oh, shit.
that might be something to take a look at.
Good call, Stanley.
I'm actually at -5 hit points, but not -5 total. But I'm anyway. The mask did some work to me, but
Excellent. All right, so that puts Hope. You're first up, and the creature whose carapace is rotating is grinders upon grinders of. It's hard to tell what it's like. It's like an organically made series of drills on top of organically made series of drills, as this large bipedal beast emerges halfway out of the lava, its mouth and face directed towards the principal.
Cool. With as big as it is, she doesn't think it'll pay much attention to her if she takes a shot at it just to see what happens.
Okay, so you
crossbow.
have a crossbow, so you bring up the crossbow and aim it at the creature. All right,
Yeah.
opening shot.
29.
29 is a hit. You can roll damage dice.
12 piercing.
12 piercing damage. All right. All right, you deal 12 piercing damage to the creature. It goes through, takes the damage. Damn, it's such a... Where's my calculator? I'm gonna need it for this one. I dropped a hint. All right. All right, your opening salvo. You draw... Salvo.
Shalvo.
Salvo. You draw first blood upon the creature. As you fire out the arrow, it finds its mark true between layers of carapace, hitting something in there. It disappears inside of its flesh. But you intuitively know it's done some damage, even though it's quite far away. Like it hit its mark that you intended between its carapace, but no change in its status. It's as if, a gnat gave it a bug bite, basically.
All right, and then she'll kind of wait where she is, ready to start gliding, should anything change.
Okay, you can ready and well, you've already used an attack action this turn, so you can't ready anything. But I got you. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Stanley, you're up.
All right, let's test the magical vulnerabilities on this thing. Stanley will fire all 4 now beams of Eldritch Blast against the creature.
These are your cantrips, right?
Yep.
Are you going to fire all 4 of them?
Yep. That's a 30 to hit, a 17 to hit, a 22 to hit, and a 24 to hit.
What was the first one?
30.
A 30? Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 beams of Eldritch Light blast out. Are they concurrent or is it one at a time?
One at a time.
One at a time. So the first one being the 30. The first one, Eldritch blast from your hands as you sort of fly on on the chrome surfboard. Hits Carapace. I have to roll a dice here. Oh wait, yeah, you had to make a ranged attack roll, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, it hits the Carapace and then reflects back and shoots into the air.
Oh no!
And reflects back out into the air. The remaining 3 hit it and are absorbed by the Carapace. So the one in which you had a successful attack roll reflected up into the air. The ones which did not have successful attack rolls were absorbed by the Carapace.
Oh wow! 24 didn't hit it.
No.
Oh jeez. All right. Well, hey, I don't have to even roll damage. That's saved me some rolls.
Looking at the silver lining, I guess.
Yep. Look at the bright side. Didn't even have to roll some dice.
Perfect. All right, and with that, the Tarrasque moves towards the principal, and it begins it moves its mouth halfway into the lava, and is like grinding through the ground as it charges down and makes multi attacks on its turn, and it has 5 attacks. So it makes one. It firstly tries to bite the principal. Okay, and it misses entirely. Then it also, as it tries to attack, he tries to clip it with its teeth at the same time, and there is a tooth attack. So let's get that one in. Holy shit, you guys!
And the
Do we have a
principal's
shitty
dead.
Tarrasque? Because that would work out really well for us.
I'll be honest, I rolled 1 twice in a row.
Whoa.
Oh, well, yeah, we do.
Nice.
It's bad. It's
Good.
not a good Tarrasque. It's a bad one.
The first one I was like, okay, it happens.
Wait, did
Second
he
one I was
appear as
like,
an egg? He was just born. It's first day.
He emerged from the earth. If there's egg, it must be buried in lava. There's no evidence of any egg. 12 for this one. So, okay, so then it attacks with its claws. Okay.
Real quick, for the math, that was a 1 in 400 chance to do 2 ones in a row.
Yeah, it's very like, oh, okay, this is how it's going to go.
It's a
All right,
0.25% chance overall.
Oh my god, I got to roll so many dice for this. This is not good.
Repeating, of course.
20.
Oh, I just realized all my attacks should have been with advantage, but it sounds like it wouldn't have mattered, so fine.
That might
We
have.
do that.
Oh, no. Well, okay. Yeah, sorry. It might have for hitting is what I meant to say. All right. So he tries once to bite, tries once to slash with tail. Now he has 2 claw attacks. The first claw attack hits the principal, shearing his metal, dealing 56 points of piercing damage. It's a non-magical attack, so it is halved, and the principal takes 28 points of piercing. And now there's a second attack from him, and that also hits. Oh my god, the dice! I didn't prep my dice. When you need 4 of them, I like to roll them all at once. So. Okay, so 32, then divided by 2 is 15. So the second attack with the claws hits the principal as well as he swiped twice upon the surfboard, taking another 17 points of damage. Okay. Perfect. And then finally, emerging from the lava, its tail emerges. Let me see here. And the tail also attempts to swipe at the principal and misses. That is that for that. Okay, so and then it begins chasing the principal, obviously rushing to his direction. It is now the principal's move, and the principal, clutching his chest, examining the damage, quickly moves off and flies into the direction of the mountains, whoosh, racing off in his chrome surfboard. And makes a parting shot back at him with his laser hands, just sort of holding the beam out and tempting him and baiting him with the hit. The beam hits the carapace of the creature and reflects into the air. And reflects in the air the same way as your Eldritch Blast did. Nash, you're up.
Okay, quick question. These boards give us verticality as well as speed and distance? Like, can we go up
That's
or down?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, 90 feet of movement. Like your dragon form.
Okay, but up and down, not just...
Yeah.
They don't have to have land to hover on. They can fly, basically.
No, you can fly as high as you want.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not bound to the ground.
Okay, I would try to, at least as best I could, calculate where the principal is in relation to the Tarrasque so I don't hit him with what I'm about to do, but I would like to launch a fireball directly to the center space of the Tarrasque.
Okay.
Of the creature, I should say.
Sure thing.
And I'm going to do that at... let's do it at third level here.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second here. Fireball. Okay, this is a Dex 18 save you need to make.
Dex 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is that right? Yeah, Dex 18.
Fail. It'll take full damage from your
Okay,
fireball.
good. Here we go. That is 8d6 damage, total of 31 points of fire damage.
Okay. So before that, sorry, how many points of damage?
31.
31. All right, and this. Okay, so just so I understand the targeting on your spell, can you provide me with that information?
Yes. Real quick here, it is.
It's not an attack roll spell. It's a saving throw.
Correct. So I can do 150 feet distance and then 20 feet of 20 radius. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So the fireball. Sorry, how much damage was it again?
31.
31. So I'm just trying to make sure I read this correctly. Okay. So you deal 31 points of fire damage to the creature. Let me just check resistances here. Yeah, the fire damage goes through for the full amount of the damage.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
Is it because you hit the carapace and it doesn't reflect in the way that Stanley's has, and the fire bursts into underneath and deals damage to the creature.
Awesome.
Okay, so 31. Let me get my calculator out again. All right. Yeah, perfect. All right, you scored an excellent hit and hit the fireball. And there's it's the size of a mountain, so it's like it's still a considerable explosion. Chips off some of the grinders upon its carapace, but it keeps moving towards the principal.
I would move just to keep things mixed up a little bit and keep him thinking about where people are. I would move here, same plane. I wouldn't go up or down. Just move that distance.
So one of the weird things about this map we're going to use is that everything looks very static, but a lot of this battle is going to be on the go. So I want you to picture your fighting as not you're standing in one place, but you're maintaining a speed in relation to the creatures.
Gotcha.
The creatures it's like fighting a train or something. It's moving. It's probably not going to stop moving, and you're going to be coasting it all the way along to Varel. So you maintain that distance behind them as you hit it with a fireball. We're all in movement now. It's just I can't really do that on a VTT.
No, sounds good.
We have to make do with our imagination.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Well done, Nash. Anything else with your turn? You move into
Nope.
position behind it and chase it. That moves us back up to. Oh, wait a second. We have a legendary action. Not legendary action. Yeah, it is a legendary action. It can be done at the end of the turn of the creature, and the creature uses its legendary action to continue to move closer to the principal, and he begins closing the gap considerably between him and the principal. So the principal would have moved 90 feet out, 10, 20, 30. We need a bigger map. I obviously did not plan for the 90 feet of movement, but essentially he brings himself closer to the principal. He's closing in. So as it stands, the principal, with this new information, the Tarrasque could, in theory, outpace the surfboards as he begins closing the distance between him and the principal. That brings us to Hope, to your turn.
Okay, so movement-wise, Hope is going to stay parallel to the principal.
Okay.
So close enough she'd be able to like swoop in and grab him and kind of ride off a bit if she needed to, but not in the line of fire in case he's got a beam or something, a cone, one
Sure
of those
thing.
many things that could happen. And then she'll fire another bolt.
Okay, so you're going to fire another crossbow bolt at him. Okay, make your attack roll, please.
It's a miss. It's a 15.
Yeah, 15 does not connect. It hits the carapace and just sticks in the side, then gets grinded up in the grinders of his carapace.
All right, cool. So Hope, again, parallel to the principal, ready to move if something happens.
Okay. All right. Now I'm actually just working on a air play space with a bit more space. So you're going to move up towards the principal with him?
Yeah, so in front of the Tarrasque, but off to the side in case there's a cone or a beam.
Okay, so I'm just moving everyone into relational position as you surf on your chrome surfboards, but I just made a larger version of the map so you have more. We can measure a little better. I'm just going to move it in Roll20 now. Should look pretty much identical, except it'll be bigger. Okay. Excellent. So, you have multi-attacks. Did you want to shoot more than once?
Oh, the crossbow?
Yeah. You're not
I
proficient
can't
with
do it multiple times because of how long it takes to load the crossbow.
it? Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the loading.
Oh, yeah. We haven't used crossbows. I'm like, oh, I guess that sounds right. It is a
Yeah,
magical crossbow.
I think there's a feat that lets you overcome it, but yeah, it's a weird bow thing.
Interesting. I guess we haven't considered it. We never really played with crossbows before, so I hadn't considered that to be an issue. Okay, well, good to know. Yep. So, how do you reload it then? Is it an action? What's the action economy of the reload?
That's a good question.
I'm actually trying to look for that now because I'm like, crossbow. Let me just see if I can't find. A heavy. You guys like crossbow or heavy crossbow? That matters first. We didn't.
It's
Mine's
a
a-
hand crossbow.
Mine's a light.
Loading. Because of the time required to load this weapon, you can fire only one piece of ammunition from it when you use an action, bonus action, or reaction to fire it, regardless of the number of attacks. It's a keyword feature on the crossbow. So it's just limited to one shot, no matter how. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not an optimal for action economy on your part, considering, what you're able to get done with certain weapons.
Yeah.
It's the same with
definitely.
light and heavy too. Okay, well, we didn't know that. Yeah. All right. Well, that's how it goes. Good to clarify that. All right, so you make your one shot and you fly parallel along the side with the principal, and we now move to Stanley.
All right. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hex the creature, which doesn't have any sort of save or anything. It's something that's supposed to just happen unless there's, I don't know, chicanery involved.
Okay. So what's the the question would be, what sort of targeting is it? Is it a saving throw like the
There is
fireball?
none. It just happens.
Okay, perfect.
They're just hexed.
Oh, there's no. It happens no matter what you're saying.
Right.
There's no.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the spell? Sorry, the name of the spell, please.
Hex.
It is okay. All right. I'm trying to sorry if it's a dumb question. I'm just trying to do multiple things at once.
No, that's fine.
All
That's
good.
fine.
Let's see here. Yeah, hex, range, bonus action. It's a bonus action, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't gonna try any more blast, but Nash's attack hit it. No, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do. I'm gonna cast Mind Sliver on it. It's an Intelligence 21 saving throw.
In lieu of hex, yeah, because you have a once.
No,
Yep.
it's a cantrip, so I can do both.
Oh, perfect. I was about to ask. Okay, great. So let's resolve hex first. So hex gives you an extra 1d6 necrotic damage whenever
I
you
with
hit
an
it,
attack.
not other
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Choose one ability. When you cast a spell, the target has disadvantage on ability checks. So let me make a note of that. So you get plus 1d6. And what's the chosen disadvantage?
Let's do it with. What is there a chance that it might have to? So many things up against Varel have to use strength checks. I'll go ahead and give disadvantage to strength. I'm sure it has immense strength, but why not? I can see it using that. We'll do disadvantage on that.
Okay, perfect. Disadvantage on strength checks. Is this modifiable at all during the duration?
No. I can move it to another target if the target dies, but I don't suspect I will.
Okay,
I don't
Okay,
suspect
great.
that will be an issue.
perfect. Excellent. It does have a range of 90 feet, just FYI.
I think I'm
Um,
in it. I
yeah.
should be.
Okay, and the material components are the petrified eye of a newt, but it doesn't have a gold cost, so no problem on your spell focus using it. Great. Okay, what is the hexing? What does your hex sound like? Are you like, I curse thee? What is your hex? What is your curse? If you have any, if not, that's fine. We'll just say
I don't have one ready. Stanley just mutters something in Elvish.
you mutter something in Elvish. I'm assuming through your megaphone, however, given
Yeah.
that's your
Yeah, it's
okay.
got to all be loud, so the megaphone is out.
Yeah, so you let out your booming Elvish voice, cursing the creature, and then the next spell is Mind Sliver that you wish to cast upon it. So the hex is effective, I believe. Yeah, there's no saving throw on it either, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Good for you, that is. Not for the creature. The Mind Sliver. This is it. Is it one word? Why can't I find it?
2.
Mind Sliver. Why don't I have Mind Sliver? I'm searching the spell. I don't see it. I'll look at your character sheet, I guess. It is a spell, right?
Yep. No, I invented it.
No, I mean
Made
it's
a-
not. It's not
okay.
a class feature, is what I'm.
It is tied to a feat, but it is a spell. Yes.
Okay, so it won't. Why
It
am
is
I
a
not?
spell.
Am I not seeing it because maybe I don't have that book or something stupid like that?
Well, I have sharing on, so if I have it, you should have it.
Yeah. What feat is it tied to?
Magic Initiate Warlock.
Oh, it's a
Although
cantrip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cantrip.
Yeah. You drive a disorienting spike of psychic energy into the mind of one creature. Target must succeed on an int saving throw or take damage. You're casting it up for. Well, no, sorry. You are of a certain level. That means the damage is increased. We're 17, right? So
Yeah, it's 4d6.
yeah. Okay. So intelligence saving throw.
Yep.
Got it. Sorry, I just wanted to. I'm not familiar with the spell. I just wanted to get educated.
No, I've never used it. I've had it for a long time. I don't think I've ever used it.
So the roll is. The score total is 8, which is, I'm guessing, a fail.
Yep.
So you are. Yeah, you are able to roll your damage. What kind of damage is it? Necrotic?
It is psychic.
Psychic.
So that is going to be 15 psychic damage. Now, because that was a save, is that considered an attack? Does Hex get added to that, or does it have to actually have an attack roll to be considered an attack?
All right, we are asking all the questions.
Yep,
today.
I'm just coming to the floor with spells I've never cast before, new questions.
I love it. No, it's great. This is D&D. You place whenever you hit it with an attack. So no, you're not hitting it with an attack when you cast a spell with the saving
Right.
throw.
This is more just an effect
Yeah,
that it's
so it
getting
doesn't
hit by.
it doesn't trigger your hex.
Okay, so 15 psychic damage then is the total, and if it has to do any saving throw before the end of my next turn, it has to subtract 1d4 from it.
Okay, minus 1d4 2 saving throws 1 turn. Oh shit. I need an AI to help me keep track of all this. All right, so okay, so you deal. So let's resolve. How much was the damage again?
15.
15. Thank you. So 15 psychic. Don't see any. I'm gonna just close that. Don't see any reductions. So it takes the full 15. All right, and let me do an update on the health bar of the creature. Did you guys see the health bar, by the way? Is that visible to you?
No.
In roll 20? Oh, okay, perfect. Just it's helpful for me. Oh, except it's not working, so that's good. I have it on my notepad. All right. Excellent. So yeah, the psychic you are able to produce a mind sliver in the mind of it. Are there any visual effects, or is it literally just entering into its mind, Xavier style?
Stanley flashes his. Oh, it's just through the voice, so through the megaphone, and as he speaks, silver crystallines into silver light forms into a little shard that just fires directly into the head and blips right through the carapace magically.
Perfect. All right, and this actually causes the creature to tweak a little bit, and you hear as it grinds up lava in its mouth, and moves its teeth, and it spits it everywhere, chasing the principal, chasing it down. It sort of falters a bit, like a gazelle in mid-flight that might trip on a rock but still maintain its. It has a little actually has a visible effect on its movement. Okay, very good. Anything else you'd like to do?
That will be it. I mean, for just speaking purposes, I'm going to use my movement to maintain pace and relative position.
Okay, great. Perfect. All right, so then you maintain position. The Tarrasque then uses its movement to distance itself closer to the principal as it chases. It uses half of its movement speed. Okay, which is that. What's going on with my thing? Okay, here we go. 1, 3. All right, so it attempts to close the distance. I need to do a bit of measuring here with the ruler. He is within range for more attacks. He is not within range. Oh, the square is here. He is within range of Hope. I don't think you meant to move there. You're keeping pace with him. Well, he catches up to both of you. That's where you both are. So it is now the creature's turn, and the creature will use the following as he chases. He's kind of chasing you as well, even though the principal seems to be the primary target because you are flying parallel with him. You are in that scope. Although I know you mentioned you wanted to stay purposely out of a range. Isn't that right? At the end of your last turn?
Yeah.
Okay, regardless, it uses its feature to yell, and it all right, so it yells out and requires everyone to make a wisdom saving throw versus frightened. I know you have the Hero's Feast. Do they still have to make the saving throw, or is it just an automatic pass on the Hero's Feast?
I mean, we're immune to it. Everybody can roll it, but if it tries to take hold.
No, if you're immune, we don't need to do that. I'm just seeing if there's any other conditions or effects. No, it's only if you're affected by it. So it yells out "Rah!" as the mouth opens and vibrates and takes in more lava and sucks in this huge lake into its mouth and then blows it out. Screams everywhere and Hope. You look up and you see the top row of its teeth moving clockwise, and the second row counterclockwise, and the third row clockwise, as it bears down and attempts to bite both you and the principal. So the bite attack is happening versus you. So that is a 24. Hope, how's your AC?
I forgot to I think when I change from the melee to the range, I don't have my 24, so I think I'm at a 22, so it'll hit.
What, did you have a shield before?
Yeah, but I need to have a melee weapon equipped for another +2, so I think with just the shield equipped, it's a 22.
Yeah, you did have a shield bonus, it says here. You had a +2 shield. I didn't know you had a +2 shield. I guess you had it at some point. Okay, yeah, so it's a 22. That's going to be a hit. Okay, so let's go with the principal as well. It's also a hit for him. So both, we're going to roll damage for you both. It's piercing damage. We need to start measuring out this distance a little better, though, I think. 12, 19, 21. So 31 points of piercing damage to both you and the principal. Okay, and target. All right, and as you do that, you are now so you're being bitten. So the mouth clamps down upon you, begins to crunch, and the teeth begin grinding around you, and that's where you take damage. As the teeth begin shaving like flesh off of you and steel off the principal, as you both are sucked into its mouth, and you are now because of the sucking motion on this creature, it breathes in so hard, you're unable to escape. It's that thing. So you are grappled inside of this area and will continue to take damage in this way until you can break free. Next up, because you're in the mouth, he can no longer attack you. But he continues to grind through it's just like a meat missile is just flying through the lava, and he's whoosh, flying through. So those attacks will end there. As you are now inside of its mouth, you and the principal. It is now the principal's turn. Oh, it's me.
That's definitely you.
Principal,
Principal,
please prepare
anyone?
your turn.
I'm sorry, everyone. All right. So the principal then, let's see here. What will he do? Sorry, one sec. Of course, Lich has a giant spell list. And I'm trying to do other things. Okay, as you guys are both in there, he opens up. You and Hope. He floats his way towards you, even though he's restrained. He moves inside the vacuum towards you, Hope, and reaches out his hand and takes your hand, and then with his other hand, he opens up a portal, and then you flow through the portal, and you find both him and yourself are flying.
Hey y'all, Hey y'all,
why is that playing?
Who's browsing TikTok while we're playing D&D?
Sorry, there's a tab open. I didn't know it was open. My bad.
It's definitely TikTok. It auto plays like that.
Well, that was my voice, but yeah.
It's fine. So you open up a portal and you see Sigil, and you fly into Sigil, and you're instantly in Sigil, whoosh, and you're flying through. You're now flying above the great city at the center of the Outlands as he pulls you through, and you're no longer restrained by the Tarrasque. That is his turn, and now we move to Nash. It is your turn.
Okay. That worked pretty well last time. So, given what I know about its fire susceptibility, not susceptibility, but it didn't resist it, I want to try something. So we're going to try a level 4 chromatic orb, entirely fire-based.
You want a fire-based chromatic orb?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the damage I'm aiming for. And let's see. Let me roll for hit.
Okay.
22.
That is not a hit.
Oh.
The chromatic orb flies to the carapace and gets absorbed. Whoa.
Damn it.
like looking like sort of a Protoss shielding kind of thing, but without the hexagons. It just sort of hits its carapace, and it's like the carapace eats the spell.
I was sure I was going to hit with that.
Burn the spell slot.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Oh, crap. That's my turn. I don't have anything else special to do.
All right. Hope, you are currently flying above the city in Sigil. You see, when you look up, you see there, Sigil is an inverse globe. So there's town above you, there's town below you, and there's all kinds of towns all around. And a lot of people are pointing up at the both of you from the ground below. And look at that barrack up there. What in the nine hells is going on up there? There's a lot of like townsfolk just like all of a sudden going, woo, as they see like a flying chrome man and a tiefling lady on chrome surfboards flying through Sigil.
Hope will stay with the principal.
All right, and the principal does comment on this so that you have some assurances about what the plan is. Give me a second.
You will return shortly. I'll open a second portal, ready in action perhaps for when we move through. And I will take us to a safer distance. I misjudged this creature's speed.
Hope will say, got it, and stay close.
All right. Would you like to ready the action as he suggested? Like
Action is ready.
A shot or something? All right, you got to tell me what it is. It's just part of the rules. I'm not trying to be a bureaucrat.
No, sorry. We're excited about a venom filter right now. So
Sorry,
go faster.
I'm sorry to be part of the chorus of voices demanding your attention.
Her action will be does going through a portal count as an action?
No, you can. That's part. You can just move through it. Right?
Okay, just move through. Stick with the principal. Like
as a basic thing, I would just ready the crossbow attack so that you can use it when you move through. Sound good?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll trust that the principal is going to set us ahead far enough that she won't need a double move.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. So that is your turn, Stanley. As far as you can tell, Hope and the principal have been swallowed up. You're flying alongside. What do you do?
Okay, so Stanley, seeing everything just happen there, how far away from the creature am I about? Okay, I'm gonna move, kind of kick the board into high gear, trying to get roughly 60 feet away from him, and we're gonna go big. I'm gonna cast Disintegrate on the creature.
Oh shit, we got the big D in the house. All right.
Actually, you know what? No movement yet. I'm going to cast Disintegrate, and they would, like a true hero, hightail it high speed once it goes up.
It's a giant monster, no cowardice here. It's giant. No accusations of cowardice here. So this is not the type of targeting is the dex save.
Yep. So it's a dex 21 save, and you have to subtract a d4 from whatever you roll.
Ah, very good. That's part of the mind sliver that you opened them up with, right?
Yes.
So this is a big one. You want this to fail. There's a big difference between living and dying here, or succeeding or not. Sorry, you said dex?
Yes.
And minus 1d4 from the roll.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a pyramid dice. Oh, max roll for 4. The roll is a 9, so I believe that's a failure for your check.
That is a failure.
All right, what is Disintegrate? Disintegrate. It takes force damage that you have to roll.
92 points of force damage lands out.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage, buddy. That's a big roll. Okay. Yeah, you really brought out the... I mean, has anyone done 92 points? Is that a record?
This feels like a record. Feels like high.
It feels like a lot. I mean, I know I've done like billions of points as a DM, but it doesn't count. I mean, from a player, you guys have the challenge.
I don't think anybody will ever beat Nash versus Ketobal Praith. That's probably...
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but you could kind of Just like how we have rules about what counts as a completed video game on, that also maybe we make some rules here about what counts really.
Nash is that guy whenever you look at like a leaderboard and it's like kind of this, nice little upgrade, but then you see the person at number 1 and they're like 100 times higher than the person below
like
them,
in the
like, huh, what happened there?
Yeah, clearly he cheated, right? He couldn't possibly. Yeah, exactly. All right, excellent. So you let out. Do you want to describe your attack at all, or do you want me to?
So Stanley points his finger, lets out a yell, a phrase through his megaphone while gesturing, and then just a silvery, bright, hot, burning line, super narrow, fires from his fingertip out at the creature and hits it, and it just splashes, and you just see smoke and fire just start to eat away at the creature where it hits.
Yeah, and actually what you do is the disintegration ray is so intense as it warms up the part of a large piece of the grinder carapace into the color of your beam and melts it right off, and it falls into the lava and makes a giant splash as the carapace grinds into the lava, the piece that's fallen off, and exposes it, and a large roar emerges from the creature. Roar! Well, that's a little too primal. Just more like, and then it immediately swivels its head, splashing lava everywhere towards your direction, and is just barrels immediately coming at you like a meteor. Before it does its legendary action at the end of your turn, you still have options to do other things, but you've done an incredible amount of damage to this creature, knocking off a side of its carapace and exposing it to the open air. This large purple flesh, molded and full of pus and warts and veins and all the things demons and chaos beings love.
Yeah, Stanley, like I said, bravely kicks it into high gear and is going to move 90 feet as fast in a direction away from it as he can.
All right, perfect. So you were... Oh, you've already moved your guy. I was like, where is he?
It's gone.
My map is zoomed out. It's so tiny, and I still couldn't see you. I had to scroll up and be like, oh, he's... It's like it must be. It's like it's like raiding with you when you go turn into a rogue and invisible and just are somewhere else completely. All right, perfect. You take off in that direction and you're gunning it. Excellent. So that brings us to the Tarrasque. That is me. All right. So that creature, because you have a sufficient amount of distance from it, let's see if he's able to close in. So. 90 feet would be how many squares if it's 5 feet per square? Okay, second calculator. Divided by 18 square. 18 squares, is that right?
I don't know.
2 squares per 10 feet, right? So times. Yeah, it's 18. Okay. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's...
So actually, before it's even his turn, he takes his legendary action to move half of his 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 8, 9. All right, so I think I failed to disclose this information early on, so we're actually just gonna step back a little bit. What happened with Hope and the principal? We're gonna leave. There is a way to kick the surfboards into overdrive. So I important information disclosed about how the
might have been a good thing to discover when we were training how to use these.
I'm like, the Tarrasque is kind of catching up to this creature, these guys pretty like effectively, and I'm like, it just occurred to me that like there are pedals on this thing. So we're gonna say that this was covered in the instructions at some point, which will double your movement speed, and it's a bonus action to click it into space, not a full action. So since you didn't use a bonus action, can I help you along in that way? Because
that's fine. Stanley was going to go as far as he could, so he will be as far away from him as possible.
All right, so you're off screen. So we're just going to, again, remember this is a movement. So your net, we're just going to calculate your net difference. So if you're out 180 feet, so I'm moving this creature out, we're going to ruler it to 180 feet. Okay, so the difference would be from down here. Okay. So you're 180 feet down. My God, what an important detail. I feel so stupid.
Guys, you're gonna be mad. I forgot to tell you about a little something this board can do.
All right,
Fly.
so we're just going to calculate the relative difference, which would be if you're able to move 180 feet and it can move, it uses legendary action, so half, so it's 180, and that means it's 90 and half of 80, half of 90, which is 45, so 125. Oh my god, it's like wargaming.
It is like Warhammer 40k business. I love it.
Yeah. I'm like
Ezekiel, move 18 squares.
Oh, right. Okay, so that'd be 36 minus 25 is 11 in difference. So he's going to be 11 squares away from you in distance. So let me measure that out. All right, so he's about here from you. Okay. I will place Nash where he was. So he's moving, so Nash, you're going to be a little bit behind. He's moving a bit. All right, we've roughly got it here. This might have been better as theater of the mind, but yes, he closes the distance. He uses his legendary action at the end of your turn to move half his movement speed towards you. Then he uses his action. Actually, he can just dash, so that's going to give him another 90 feet. Hold on. Okay, so he's just on your ass. Basically, the net result is he's just on your ass. Okay, he's barreling towards you through the lava flow, and as you fly, you look forward. You see that the lava lake is ending, and the mountain range is beginning to approach. So you're going to move into new terrain soon. Okay, and let's just go. We'll do that next round, assuming you survive. So that means it's the principal's turn. So Hope, the principal. Opens up a second portal right in front of you as you fly over the markets, and Lohar sort of looks up and goes, "Oh, I know that one. I sold that one some clothing a while back." The principal opens another portal back to Earth, and you fly through it, and he positions you next to flying in parallel. So the Tarask is now chasing Stanley, and yourself and the principal are flying in parallel on his left at, let's say, a safe-ish distance here. Okay. Then we move you there. All right. The portal is his turn as he guides you through and flies himself. That means it is now Nash's turn.
Great.
Nash, the party has moved somewhat, but let's not worry too much about the exactitude of the map, because I'm going to be here all night doing calculations. The Tarask is now flying towards Stanley and towards the mountain range as Stanley leads it, and a big piece of his armor has just fallen off from Stanley's disintegration ray.
Okay. Where he's done that and the big piece it's off, is it like an exposed weak point?
I mean, it's exposed. It still doesn't look very weak. There's exposure, but there's nothing weak about the flesh underneath. There's just no longer grinders or hard carapace there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with... It's really scared me on that. What was the...
But one thing I should clarify, simply because it was the amount of dice I rolled, so rather than try to refigure everything, I cast that spell at the 7th level, apparently. So...
That's okay.
I'm just letting you know.
We're in the right spell slot.
Yeah.
I was definitely not cheating. I know you might be thinking it, just so you're aware. I appreciate it, Stanley. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna launch another fireball.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it. May as well just keep burning these level 4s. So I'm gonna do it at level 4. You need to make a Dex 18 saving throw.
That's another fireball.
Yeah.
At level 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please fail.
All right.
Please fail.
Fireball is a Dex saving throw, right?
Yep. Dex 18.
Of course. How should I not know this? How many fireballs have we resolved over
A lot of them.
Come on.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fireball.
Is this reduction still in effect, John, from the Mind Sliver?
No, it ends
for the end of your turn.
At the end of my turn, yeah.
All right, so my roll on the Dex is a 15.
Good, you failed.
Oh, excellent.
Failed it.
Gosh, so aggressive.
I'm so excited though, because that last whiff really sucked. All right, here you
so
go.
Toxic, like rubbing it in someone's face if they failed.
Toxic player, you gotta kick me out of the guild. All right, here we go. I'm gonna hit damage dice. 96 equals almost the same as last time. 32 total points of fire damage.
Okay, 32 points of fire damage. Just a sec here. Yeah, and there's no resistance to the fire or anything like that, so the full damage is minus 32. All right, great. You slap another fireball into its carapace. It does not reflect or get absorbed. It hits as it, like, you hit the open area and just hit it. It takes the full brunt of the damage as you launch another fireball into its body. And this time it falters a little bit, but its rage and it's what is it? It's the threat generation from Stanley is too high for you to distract from the creature as it moves as it continues to move towards Stanley. We are now at the end of the round. Stanley, you now break off of the lava wave. I'm going to update the map in Roll20 to now show the terrain we are on. We are now on desert terrain. The Tarrasque is chasing you down. I think you're a little bit ahead of it than you are here. I will try to darken the grid. For some reason on this map, it's difficult to see. So let me just darken the grid a little bit here. Let me know if that's better.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and so now that we're in a new round, Hope, it is your turn. You've just flown through Sigil. That's quite an experience. And you're now back on Earth with the principals holding your hand, guiding you. And you're free to make your turn as you have your crossbow at the ready. Oh, you have two. You can shoot the crossbow because that's not part of this turn. You can actually fire it off before you start your turn if you wish.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what she'll do. And so let me roll for that.
Mm-hmm.
A 26?
A 26. That is a hit.
Awesome. 11 piercing.
11 piercing. Your crossbow bolt finds its mark as it fires in and hits it again. Again, a small amount of damage in this instance, so it doesn't really visibly do too much, but it definitely, with your knowledge and intuition of these things, it definitely finds its mark true, does the damage. Now it's the start of your turn.
Awesome. So what she'll do is she'll use her move to go the full 90 feet, and then her action as a dash to go another 90 feet.
Okay, so you're flying in parallel on the right. Where do you want to position yourself relative? Just far out ahead, like you're trying to race it, basically.
Yeah, Hope wants to stay ahead in case somebody needs help if they're falling off their board or something.
Oh, okay.
Just to stay ahead rather than behind.
Teamwork. All right, so I'm going to put you at like the max. All right, I'm going to move this guy back. Again, I'm not trying to be too exact with the map because we get into these are ridiculous distances, so. But I just want to be fair if people get caught up. So I'm moving him back, and I'll put you to the top. And I assume you let go of the principal. You don't need to hold his hand this whole time, right? Like,
yeah.
Done. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, once we're through.
So he's farther back. Great. Okay, so you just fly out ahead to be ready to support anybody as needed. Stanley, you're up. The Tarrasque is on your ass. There's like when you look back over your shoulder, you see a large, think the dune worm, right? Like a large, round, circular mouth, its teeth rotating, it's half in the ground, and as it moves through the ground, it's digging up like a giant trail of lava and earth behind you, giant dust cloud of smoke, and like it's above you. It's like a giant mountain is chasing you. You're this little, if cinematically, you're this little speck flying, and there's this giant monster behind you as you surf on your chrome surfboard.
All right, so I have a question. It's digging up on the ground, which means parts of it are literally dragging on the ground, right?
Yeah, it's like it moves through the earth like you move through air.
Because here's what my idea is, and tell me if this would work. I don't know how much this will slow it down, but I do think it could do a lot if it does, even if it doesn't. I want to cast Prismatic Wall across the path, like go down to the ground, skim the ground, cast it. I can pass through it, and assuming it's chasing me now, the wall only goes up, I think, 30 feet. But if it's going across the ground, it would still pass through it, correct? If it's chasing me.
I mean, it's very, very tall. So
and
it depends, but it depends. Like if you think about it, immovable rod style, no matter how big it is, they move. Like if it ran through an immovable rod, right, it would just tear a hole through itself.
Yeah.
So let's find out what the. Oh, this is a 9th level spell, eh?
Yes.
This is your pickup when you leveled up. All right.
Yeah.
Spending the big money.
Oh, because we were talking about this, about his ability to move through it, and he having to burn legendary resistances, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, which we haven't.
Possibly.
Oh, I should have done that on your disintegrate. That was big enough. Oh well, I still have 3 in the hole, so
Yep.
3 in the pocket. That's all good. Thanks for a reminder. This reminded me. I knew it was there. I studied the stat block before, but I was not thinking of it in the heat of the moment. A shimmering multicolored plane of light forms of right. So this is like everything. This is like 9 layers or 7 layers of magical animus, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's just see what the wording is, because this arcane knowledge is important to behold. Plane of light, 90 feet long, 30 feet high. It's definitely way taller than that. 1 inch thick. It's 1 inch thick. I'm just laughing in comparison to the size of the Tarrasque. Like an inch of magic.
It's like a tiny little. It's like a tiny little thing. But again, if it's dragging over the ground, it'll pass through it, right? It
will have to deal with it because magic is a magical force. It's not, logic is not fully the point here. Set it on a point you can see. You can shape the wall into a sphere up to 30 feet. All right. The wall sheds bright light. You can give anyone a hall pass, basically.
Yeah.
If another creature moves to within 20 feet of it or starts, the creature must succeed or become blinded. So there's actually an 8th layer. There's blinding that could happen as long as it's within a certain amount of feet. The wall consists of 7 layers, each with a different color. When a creature attempts to reach into pass through, it does so 1 layer at a time through all the wall's layers. As it passes through each layer, so they're an inch. So they move all through all 7.
Yeah. So the idea is against a reasonable creature, right? Is you put it up, and something basically has to decide if it's going to try and push through it or not. And they either have to spend a ton of time trying to dismantle it or move through it and face the consequences of each layer.
Okay. Yeah. So So like, for example, the first red one is on a failed save, they take 60-10 or half on a successful one. While this layer's in place, non-magical ranged attacks can't pass through the wall. But he can still pass through it. He's just got to take the damage.
Yeah, correct.
And then there's the orange. So I mean, in theory, no matter how big he is, rules is written. He is a creature, and if he passes through it, he's got to deal with the layers, even if it's tiny. It's magic. It's mad. The fact that a little tiny thing to him does a ton of damage is because it's magic. So, yeah, I don't think. He could definitely find a way around it, but the dynamic of how this battle's going, and for the benefit of our audio listeners, you're doing this while moving. So it's the same thing as using mold earth while driving vehicles to literally mold earth in front of a car to make it crash instantly.
Did we try that?
You could just what?
Did we try that before? Was that a thing we did?
We talked about it, but I don't know if we ever did it. But in theory, mold earth as if you were in a Mad Max situation and you just molded earth as a cantrip in front of a moving vehicle, it would just crash instantly, and so you could just destroy everything. Think of how epic it would be, just raise the earth and just destroy a car.
That'd be amazing.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's why I'm annoyed if we never tried that before, but maybe we did.
Yeah, I don't think I know we talked about it, but I don't think this situation presented itself, and maybe when we had our car battle, it never really came up. Yeah, there's lots of spells and fun to have. So
seeing that it's dragging on the floor and the wall functionality of it is actually less meaningful, I think I'm actually going to drop it as a sphere.
Okay. Is there a sphere 30 feet in diameter? So because of its size, I think it wouldn't. I think you're thinking it'll have to pass through it twice, go in the sphere.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking potentially ahead.
Okay, if you have sort of a reason for it, if you want, to ask any questions, just to make sure what your idea is going to work.
There's nothing that says that once it passes through it and then moves out of it, that the wall gets destroyed. They have to actually meet certain objectives in order to destroy the wall. So theoretically, you could go back into it.
Yes, I think the one problem you're going to find is that we're on the move. So
that's true.
It's
that's
a
true.
dual-edged sword. So you're going to put the wall up, but once you move out of range, it's going to fall again.
You know what? I'm going to hold it for right now. This is it's good we talked about it because we can have it in our mind. It's going to happen at some point. I'm going to Mind Sliver for this turn.
Remember that you're leading to Varel's trap.
Yes.
And the idea is maybe it would slow down and then you get maximum effectiveness from your 9th level spell.
That's what I'm thinking. So I think I'm going to Mind Sliver and continue to use my bonus action and movement to get as far away as I can.
All right. So that puts you at 180 feet of movement. That's probably the safest option. And Kyle hasn't been able to, or Varel hasn't been able to join us for a while.
I want to get to Varel as soon as possible.
And the mountain range is coming up. So you do see the mountain range on the horizon. All right.
Mind Sliver.
With the additional speed, you're able to outpace it. And everyone, even with its dash actions, you are able to keep it just barely within a clip. So what we can do at this juncture of the battle is say, you might be out of range for attacks, but you can guide it towards where Varel is.
Okay.
And if that's the case, we can maintain a status quo and move on to the next phase of the battle.
I think that sounds good to me. If that sounds good to everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Yeah.
Great. So everyone kicks it into high gear, and then there's this sort of 4 formation, like Top Gun or something, like everyone's like flying in a formation, and the creature is chasing you, grinding up earth in its teeth as it moves and swims through the earth. Just one little problem, though. I need everyone to make a intelligence. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Boo. All right.
Well, remember, we have advantage on wisdom saving throws.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, shit.
Okay,
Magic.
I feel a little better about that.
Foiling the DM at every turn.
Oh, I'll take.
Only if you roll well.
I'll take
my.
I got a natural 20 for a 21. I can't believe
14 is my best roll.
Hope.
13.
13. All right, Hope. So as everyone guns it on their devices, a pop happens in the engine in the back of your Chrome surfboard. Boop. And a large cloud of gray smoke starts emanating from your board, and you hear as you begin to slowly decelerate, and your surfboard begins losing speed.
I'm gonna try Indomitable. That lets me reroll a saving throw that I failed.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, is that like you're like, oh, work, I'm indomitable.
No, it's a 12. So.
Oh no, it got one worse.
Yeah, and so as you look at it and go like, not today, the engine, like a part of the engine also goes, another piece pops off and goes, boom, and like a streak of like oily liquids begins spewing out of the side too, and you're slowly starting to decelerate. Fortunately, it's you that it happened to, and you are a bit of an engineer. So the engine begins popping off and smoking, and you begin decelerating, and the rest of the party sort of looks concerned in your direction as you start slowing down and moving towards the Tarrasque.
All right, she'll roll a vehicle repair, if that's all right. See if she can.
Yeah, perfect. So you get down on a knee and look at the engine and begin getting to work. You need to make an assessment. Let's get your vehicle repair roll.
The natural 20.
It's a natural 20.
For 28.
All right, with great ingenuity, you examine the engine. You know immediately what's wrong. The belt, there's a belt inside the engine housing. So you've quickly, your task list before you is you got to open the engine housing. You got to slow down the engine enough so that you can snap the belt back on without stopping the engine completely, and close the casing if you can. The third one might be optional if you want to keep it exposed. There's also a little dial where it has like information, and like an overheating light is going rant, 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 rant. So what do you do?
First things first, pop the top off, right?
Yeah, you pop the top off. So it's bolted in. I don't know if you have anything to remove bolts, like a drill or a wrench, or do you gotta rip it off?
She'll have to rip it off.
Yeah. All right. Make a strength check, please.
12.
All right, you try to rip it. It's not working. You decelerate a little further, and you're falling closer behind. You can try again, but with each failure, you lose time, and you're now a full, length behind the rest of the group. And I will move your. Let's measure this. Now, does the rest of the party continue on, or does anyone at this point before she rolls again do anything to help? The principal's just going. You fall behind. You know that's his philosophy. She falls behind 30 feet.
I have something I could do. We can get out of this situation. I am going to... Where is it? Where's my spells? I am going to cast Dimension Door, holding onto the board to bring it with me, and materialize my board right alongside hers, and let her hop on and just take over the board. We've already practiced riding on the same board. I will go to passenger, and we'll tear off on this one.
All right. You Dimension Door yourself and the board 30 feet back. Poop. Stanley pops right beside you. Hope do you agree to...
Oh yeah, she'll do like the hands grabbing the forearm thing. Or like Predator. Well, Predator's more of a flex, but this is more of like the forearm grab.
Yeah. Stanley's weak. There's nothing to show off in that. Not an iconic scene with Stanley.
Yeah. Solid hand grabs. So okay, you clutch each other's forearm, and he pulls you on quickly. And as you step off, because there's no longer an operator on board, it wobbles in the air and then flutters around and does like a swirl and hits the Tarrasque's mouth and grinds up in his teeth, and there's an explosion. Just a small one. Doesn't damage it as it consumes your chrome board.
Yeah,
one board down. Yeah, but you and Stanley are now some feet behind, but still away from the Tarrasque. All right, the mountain range is approaching. Vorel, we go to you. In the distance, you see a large column of grinding dust, like a narrow sandstorm, just digging through the earth, and little specks that you can tell are your companions on the boards. The goblins are milling around, a little uncontrolled as they wait, but they begin to notice as well, and the lizard tactical team is there. They all await your instructions and plans. Your time is nigh.
All right. Well, I assume the ruckus that a giant beast is making will allow me to speak at volume, so I will holler to the goblins and the lizard folk together. It comes! Positions! Get ready for the fight of your life.
Yes. And then, Bok will then yells, position! And the rest of the goblins yell, position! There's all kinds of this chain of command that everyone begins taking upon the map. Any last-minute changes to your map now that you see a bit more information and know a bit more information? Let's move over to your map here.
No, I would back myself up so I have running room for my jump I'm going to do. Otherwise, I will take the detonator that I have sort of taped to my shield out and be ready to go.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. So just a time check for everyone here. Are we good to go past time?
I can go 15.
We started a bit later, so we can keep going.
I can go about 15 after before I have to pack up and go to my sister's. But
you have a.
So I have another 15. Yeah, I could do 15.
Okay, so then that may be a good enough stopping point. I'm a little disappointed to stop there, but I do want there's going to be probably a lot of calculations when it comes to triggering the event that Vorel has planned, and so I don't want to give it short shrift, considering how dangerous this creature is. And how involved this combat has been in terms of what's ongoing. It's very dramatic. We've already teleported to Sigil. We've had a daring rescue on the part of Stanley. We've had some sick-ass fireballs and disintegrates. I think there's a lot of dramatic tension, so I would be tempted to handbrush, I think, what is an epic part of our combat by squeezing it into the last 15. So let's. This is a good stopping point. The heroes are now flying full speed on their chrome surfboards. The giant mountain-sized Tarrasque chasing them. It's grinding teeth, grinding up earth, creating a huge plume of dust behind it, and just a picture of Vorel, like from the back, like cinematically looking at the distance with his army. Is like Jason and the Argonauts kind of army of goblins and lizard folk preparing to trap this large beast in the canyon. I am looking. I can't. It's going to be 7 days, and it's going to be the longest 7 days. I'm really enjoying this combat, and it sucks that we got to wait, but that's life, my friends.
Yep. Big cliffhanger, everybody. Before we see what Varel does to our lives, you're going to want to go over to our website and see what we have for your lives. That's right. You can support us at therewillbedungeons.com, and you can also find all the details about this show and archives and everything else if you're trying to find a point to insert yourself into the season. It's a great place to do it. Go check it out. Therewillbedungeons.com. Emails and all that stuff are there as well. So keep your questions coming because we love those. We got a big monthly episode coming up soon that we'll want to share with you guys, and we need your questions to do it. So keep those rolling in. That is going to do it for us. For me, for Kyle, for Kristen, for John, and for Bo. We'll see you next time.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Well done, everyone.